Hello, my name is Kelly Bluen. I am a certified Zentangle teacher. Welcome to 15 Minutes of Zen. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a cute little turkey using the Zentangle method of drawing. So we're going to sketch the turkey and then use the Zentangle tangle to fill in the feathers. So this is the tangle Q-Belle by Yuru Chen. If you followed the Inktober, Yuru Chen designed the tangle called Tile Wave. She does beautiful work and has created many beautiful tangles. Okay, I'm using a Micron PN plastic nib pen, a graphite pencil from Zentangle, and a tortillion for blending. The pencil is to do a little bit of drawing and shading. I'm also using a 2" by 2" Zentangle brand tile called the Bijou tile. Feel free to do this on whatever paper and whatever size that you would like. And you can get all these supplies on Zentangle.com or on my Facebook page called Let's Tangle. Okay, so we're going to start by putting a dot in each of the four corners pretty close to the edge. And then we're going to create a very light frame with our pencils. I want this frame to be pretty thin today. We want lots of drawing space. Just like that. Okay, to make our turkey, we're going to start with a circle, and it's going to be in the lower half down here, but not too close to the bottom. So I would say maybe right about there. And I do it lightly in pencil so that I can fix it or make it larger or more round, whatever I'd like. And then I'm going to do a smaller one for the head. And then I'm going to add some little cheeks. So I'm just going to come out a tiny bit on each side. Okay, now if you'd like to stay with pencil, you can to do the feathers, and then you can ink them in later. It's up to you, but I'm going to switch to pen now. So I'm not going to put ink over that center part. So I'm going to start at one cheek and come down and around. And then I'm going to add these little cheeks there and then finish the circle head. I'm going to give them two legs close together and all the way down to the line. And then I just give them some little claw feet there, just by making a little mountain over each one. You need some little wings, so I'm going to come down the side here and just give a couple bumps out. And on that side, just little bumps coming off the sides. For his eyes, I'm going to do his eyes pretty big, like that. And then I'm going to give a reflection, a large one and a little one, in each eye, and color in that extra area. And a couple little eyelashes coming out both sides. For the beak, I'm going to come under this eye, and then I'm going to come up in a little mountain and then under this eye. Not too big. And then I'm just going to come down and make a little V. And for his waddle, I'm going to do a teardrop, but I want it to kind of bump off the side. So I'm going to bump up and then make this teardrop. Also going to add just a little bit of, I think it's called hatching, on both sides, and maybe a tiny bit on his head, and maybe some little things to round him out. All right, that was a very quick sketch. So now on to the important part, the feathers. You're welcome to round these or make them very pointy and fancy, but I'm going to put a dot right up here, kind of in the middle of the paper above his head. And I'm going to come down, and I'm not going to quite bring it to a point on his body. It's going to sort of disappear behind him. So I'm going to do one there. And my next one, I want to come out pretty far, so I'm going to put a dot at sort of where I want to land. I do that same thing. And on the other side. I want these to be a little bit wider. I made mine kind of thin. And try to go out almost to that edge or cross over the edge a little bit. So I've got the one, and then I've got two more on each side. And I'm going to do one more set. So I'm going to go out pretty far for this one. It's okay if you've got some space in between those. Just like that. And then in between each of those feathers, I'm going to add one in the background, just by making these curved lines. Looks like they're tucking in and sticking out in the back. Giving a little bit of curve to those. Okay, on those back ones, I'm going to put in some straight lines just on those background ones, not the big full ones. And then we're going to put really narrow V's, like the letter V, inside those. The more narrow you make them, the more delicate it looks. So take your time. Make sure each line touches the other lines. Don't leave lines hanging or floating. Make sure they touch the edges. And if you've got space down below, go ahead and fill those in. For some reason, I'm going to stop my line right here. For some reason, when a line doesn't quite connect, your eye is drawn to that spot. So really try to make sure those land. There we go. He's looking cute. Okay, now we're going to do Yuru Chen's tangle called Q-Belle. My phone is... Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so Q-Belle is beautiful, and it's beautiful on a bigger tile as a bigger shape. We're doing it kind of small here, but we're going to make the letter S inside each of these extra feathers here. So I'm going to go around and down. So I start in the middle, and I end in the middle. So just a curvy S. I'm going to go ahead and do every one. So I curve and curve. And if you would like to make your S's go the opposite way, go ahead. I'm just going to continue to make mine that same way. That muscle memory is there. Making those S's. Again, starting in the middle and ending in the middle. So this is a really small area to work in. And again, play around with this. Look up on the internet, look up Yuru Chen's Q-Belle. She's got beautiful variations of this. But here's what we're going to do. In that first S shape, we curved out to the left. So I'm going to follow that curve and then put in just a little spiral. So I just kind of follow that curve and put in a spiral. And on the bottom, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to follow the curve this way and put in a spiral. So on my next one, I follow the curve, put in a spiral, follow the curve for a spiral. Just continue doing this all the way around. Now, typically when we do a tangle, we would finish the tangle, but I'm doing one part at a time just because this tile has lots of lines and I don't want to lose my spot or lose you guys. So keep following that curve of the S, putting in spirals. Just like that. And now I'm going to go to that very first curve that I made, and I'm going to make like a little letter U, a little curve underneath it, and I'm going to just follow the basic shape of that. So I'm going to add an aura, which is a line beside another, like this. See how I just followed that curve? And then I'm just going to keep doing that, curving letter U's all the way down. I'm going to the next one, and I'm just going to make a curve underneath that one. It just sort of folds it in there nice and pretty. Using those letter U's, curving all the way to the bottom. Go nice and slow, don't rush this part. Now watch my pen, I'm going to come down and then curve up. See, I'm just trying to sort of keep that exact shape there. I have a couple more to do. Taking the time to curve carefully. And I wanted to take a minute to comment that I don't put music on my videos, any background music, because I figure everybody has their own music that helps them relax and calm, focus and stay calm. So you can mute my voice and just follow the lines if you'd like, but feel free to add your own music, your own background music. I won't annoy you with mine. Okay, I have all those curves in. Now I'm going to do the opposite. Instead of doing the letter U, I'm going to do more of a bump, like a letter lowercase n maybe. So I've got this curve here, and I'm going to go over the top. And I'm going to continue those little curves up all the way to the end. This little tiny tile has a lot of line work today. But I felt like this turkey deserved some elegant feathers. Of course, you could draw this turkey over and over again, changing it up, adding colored pens, putting in any tangles you want. There we go. He's so cute. We're at 15 minutes. I'm going to go probably another 2 or 3 minutes so I can show you the finishing touches and how to shade. So now I'm going to take my pen and I'm going to do a wiggly line around my frame. And if you get to a feather, just lift your pen, come out the other side. And just for fun, I'm going to draw an acorn over here. So an acorn is going to be by making kind of a combination of the letter U and the letter V. So I'm just going to do a rounded V shape. And I put a little curve on top of them. Curve the edges and connect them. And I'm going to do some sideways hatches and some crisscrosses. Add a stem and some highlights and maybe a little bit of shading with some little hatches on that side. And feel free to add more of those or some leaves, anything you want. Okay, so for shading, I tend to shade really heavy, and on this tiny tile with so many lines, we don't need a lot of graphite. But I'm going to go on those feathers that are behind, and I'm going to put some graphite in that V shape where it tucks in behind the other ones. Just running my graphite pencil over at one time. And then I'm going to outline his whole head just to give his head some distance from those feathers. And then the tiniest bit on the top of that S shape and the bottom of those S shapes. So on the side that has the curves, not the side that has the spiral. So right up in there and down in here. Up in the top, down in the bottom. Okay, and I take my pencil or my tortillion for blending, and I start in those V shapes, and I'm just pushing that graphite out a little bit. And it gives that effect of laying behind the other feathers. And I'm going to go around his head, soften that just a little bit. And then on those Q-Belles, on the side that has the bumps, pushing that out a little bit. And if you want, you can even push it right along both sides of those curves. It gives those a little bit of dimension instead of looking flat. Look at how those look like they're just sort of curving in and out of each other. I love that look. And then if you'd like, with your tortillion that already has some graphite on it, I like to go on the inside of my frame. Give it just a tiny bit of a shadow. And anytime I draw like an object or this little turkey guy, I'm going to put a little bit of shading around the outside of him, just to let him pop a little bit off the paper. And that is it. He's so cute. I might add a little reflection detail in his beak and initial your work. On the back, add the date, your name, and a sentence about what's going on in your life. Thank you so much. And if you celebrate Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. If you are vegan or vegetarian, you don't eat turkeys, then you got this cute little turkey just to remind you of, I don't know, of not eating turkey at Thanksgiving and saving all the little turkeys. Thank you so much. Have a happy holiday. See you next time.